Hello? Are you excited? Well, it will be about WAFs. I'm Eldar Bividov. I'm dealing with security of WAF applications and also in process of getting my master degree. And I will talk about WAFs. What is the problem after all? Customers often approach us to ask for protection for their web applications. But the most appropriate protection for things like APS and WAFs of the next generation, WAFs looks more promising. The problem is there are too many of them, and each of them is based on some special ideology and some specificities in terms of integration into infrastructure and some special requirements for the staff training. Now I'd like to look at WAFs from the point of view of protection of web applications. WAF needs to have 6 protection mechanisms to guarantee data security for web applications. Some of them are simple, like protocol checks, and some others are more complex, like machine education. I will point out some of them for you to more or less understand how WAF gives you protection and what to look for. It starts from very basic things like protocol verification. It serves as a limiting factor because it narrows the area for intruder, like RFC check, or it limits the number of parameters and the length of parameters so that all inquiries look legal. There are also checks for time parameters, and finally it looks for illegal bytes. The next line of protection is blacklisting in the form of signatures. Signature is quite an old protection method. In the WAF context, it's still relevant because web applications which are modern and which are published now are very subject to attacks, and it's actually a beneficial thing. WAF has the mechanism of model building, and WAF gives you protection when the sample model is not yet built, and it can also affect the teaching process and makes it more clean. If you compare different vendors' signature analysis, you see the difference in the number of signatures. You can also look at whether the signature is seen or it is hidden, and also some vendors may produce signature as correlation rules. Some modern vulnerabilities, even well known, are not always effectively found with just one signature. It takes some more sophisticated security policy which takes into account the frequency of occurrence, the meaning of the headings, the range of IP addresses, and other things.
So when we move from blacklists, they're more reliable because they're formed via machine learning. There are the different formats of the access identifiers. There's the Etalon model, and all the anything that doesn't correspond to the model is thrown out as illegal. So this kind of a profiling. So compare different vendors. It's hard to compare due to different reasons because the mathematical algorithm, the statistical algorithm is closed, it's not published, so that's why we cannot research it in a scientific kind of way. Second problem is that the framework of lab research, there's never and can never get enough of live traffic because WAFs, they are existing in the real internet with real threats. However, we can estimate here two tools like this. First, setting of the parameters of the machine learning and the objectives. If you look at the actual vendors, some offer very precise tuning. For example, we can build up the end and the start learning. We can highlight certain AP transfer ranges for the tested, for the testing zone, and so on. Other vendors could not even provide the logging parameters apart from the duration of the speed rate, and this is what should be prepared for when you make the choice. Optimization of the standard model works as the protection mechanism from the underlearning of the machine when the app was changed by the developer, which often happens during the cycle of development. When the model starts to fall significantly, the optimizer aggregates it, and according to a special condition, the object is being sent to relearning. So by default, if every hour the object is found, probably it's falsing, and there's a need to relearn, reteach the object. When we see it in slides, so we start when we build the object into our standard model, and this is the condition when we consider it done. The next tool for protection is our user rules. This is a wider setting. The point is that the operator of the applied level is done with things, validation, parsing, because the administrator probably wants something of his own, the pin tests, the tasks to split the access to web apps, and so on and so forth. And he is thinking how he'll be able to use all those rules for internal rules. So WAF would give those opportunities not only to internal mechanisms, but also to the administrator as the tool. Here I would compare two approaches. On this slide, there are solutions by two vendors, the solution of the same tasks, the protection of web app from phasing. In one case, it can be a simple correlation rules of certain criteria. In the second case, it's built in a programming language, so you can do whatever you want to. So each would choose anything he wants depending on the qualification and his wishes, the client's wishes. So if there's a range of certain details in the stuff, we would be able to work on that. It's worth choosing the programming language. But if the B administrator B is not qualified enough and needs to react quickly to certain aspects, then it would be better to choose the coordination rules out of ready-made criteria. The next protection tool, I would not say that it's a must, but it's interesting in the context of WAF, because WAF suggests this kind of a service. The first mechanism that's built in many WAFs is bot mitigation. So as a response to there's the JavaScript built into the web app, which according to certain parameters identifies whether this machine has been infected or not. So if machine is infected, then probably the query that came to it was the part of the activity of the botnet, and this kind of JavaScript can cut off a lot of botnets from the attack, which will decrease its efficiency. Also, there are certain techniques to detect the DDoS, but it's more interesting to check out the reactions, the ways in which WAF reacts at the applied level. Of course, first is proof of work challenge. Perhaps a lot of you has heard this term according to the Bitcoin protocol, when the machine that expresses its opinion about whether the transaction is legal or not must build some proof of work into its opinion, the guarantee that the machine has been spending resources. So when our website is under attack, we build in this task into each response of the web app, hence slowing down the source and making each client spend a certain amount of time to solve the task that we sent them. If the solution is wrong, then we throw out this kind of query. But as a rule, if it's the real machine, if it's a browser, it will spend some time and give us the right response. So let's kind of slow down the source. Very interesting, slow down the source. The next mechanism is capture challenge. Everybody knows this. The session is validated by the capture, and it's identified as a human one. And shaping blocking on its level, we give certain line to every user which cannot be exceeded. And the last thing here, which is built in WAFs, it's the integration. Overall, WAF as a modern data protection tool must be very well integrated into the general landscape. That increases its efficiency and the efficiency of the entire IT security of the enterprise. Here it's important to be integrated into the vulnerability scanner and realize the viral patching function of automatic updates of our vulnerabilities. It is important to integrate correctly with CCM systems, and another possible integration with the database activities and monitoring, WebDB correlation, and also the modern trends like reputation services and fraud prevention services. This is where I would probably finish my presentation for today. No need to worry. Keep calm. Choose your WAF. So another thing would I love to ask to show a certain file. So things I told you about, this is the tip of the iceberg. When I first addressed the question of the WAF choice, I made this huge list of criteria where I put into account all these details to compare these products on more academic basis. And now when new products come into our company, we get them through this beautiful model and have the understanding of what is there, what isn't there, and on and on. Thank you very much. We'll gladly answer your questions. Thank you. Can you talk to me? I'll tell you everything. Yeah, you can catch me in the conference. I'll gladly talk to everybody if you have certain questions to ask. Thank you very much.